Well, guys, it's that time of the year again, February. The month after January, the month of Valentine's Day, and it's actually a leap year this year, so that's the thing. But you know what's more important than that? The McRib is back! I'm kidding. It's Black History Month, baby. The time where everyone looks back at all the things that African Americans have done for the US and for the world in general. But if you know this channel and you saw the thumbnail, then you know that this is the complete opposite because I felt like it. So today, we're going to discuss the quite possibly whitest team we have ever seen in our modern generation. Because we all know before African Americans became a part of the NBA, it was straight milkmen and your local electricians who played in the NBA. Oh man, I can already see the dislikes. Anyways, y'all ready? Because I know you are. Roll it!
He incurred an injury dealing with weights in the weight room, so he stitched up in the left hand doing all this.
It's over, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, so you want to know who the whitest team to ever play on an NBA court together is? Well, it's simple. It's located in one of the whitest states in America, guys. It's in Minnesota. Meet the whitest team in the NBA in our modern generation, the 2012 to 2013 Minnesota Timberwolves. Here are some basic facts about them before we actually start talking about the players on them. The team consisted of 10 white players and 5 black players. And I know y'all will be like, hey, Alvini, how can this be the whitest team ever with 5 black people? Well, firstly, these guys are the epitome of I'm not racist because I have a black friend type of niggas, plus only 2 of them got decent playing time throughout most of the season. So yes, all the white guys took up all the minutes, and as you can see by the 31-51 record, it didn't really amount to much. But before we get into the players, let me show you another interesting stat. You know how they say white men can't jump? Well, for this team, it is true. I thankfully was able to find a stat that told me the total number of dunks they had in a whole season. The 2012 to 2013 Timberwolves averaged a whopping 3.1 dunks a game, and believe me, I really looked into every team in that season. They had the worst dunks per game stat that year. And just to add one more thing before we start talking about the players, I know I should probably just go on to start, but just give me a second. This team was so white that even civil rights activists had articles that were asking what the fuck was going on with this. But anyways, let's start and look into see these players then and now, from leading scorer to bench warmer. Yep, you already knew who the leader of the White Ball Army was, the 80s porn star himself, Kevin Love. He only played 18 games, but he still managed to average the most points out of everyone at the time with 18.3 points a game and 14 rebounds a game. Damn, he really was that good back then, wasn't he? Unfortunately, he suffered a hand injury to his shooting hand that made him sit out the rest of the season. And as we all know, after a couple of more great statistical seasons with the Timberwolves, he was then sent to the best place ever and the worst place ever, Cleveland, Ohio, with LeBron James and Kyrie Irving, where he then became the third wheel. He got a championship out of it. However, he suffered the worst fate of all, being stuck in Cleveland. And if there's anything our Lord and Savior Joakim Noah says,
I mean, I never heard anybody say I'm going to Cleveland on vacation. I mean, what's so good about Cleveland?
Now he says he wants to stay, but we all know he wants to go to another contender, or for Colin Sexton to actually be a good playmaker. One of the two. Nikola Pekovic was a really solid center for the Minnesota Timberwolves as he averaged 16 points a game and 8 rebounds a game. Really solid numbers. However, if you take a closer look at it, he took over the main scoring role when Kevin Love went down. So if the main scorer is only scoring 16 points a game, then either there's a lot of sharing of the ball and everybody's getting some numbers, or the team kind of sucks. In this case, the team sucked. From there, he had a lot of injury-riddled seasons to the point of getting waived a few years ago, and also the revolution of the three-point shot, fuck Steph Curry, which made him even more obsolete. Okay, $20 to anyone who could have told me Andre Karolinko actually played with the Timberwolves at one point. Anyways, after many years of success with the Jazz, the at the time 31-year-old was coming off his first season not being in Utah. Even before he took a gap year to play in the EuroLeague to play in his home country of Russia. After that one season, he came back to the league and became a Timberwolf. The one lone season, he averaged 12 points a game on 50% from the field and even averaged a steal and a block a game. So he was still good for the NBA game. As we all know, however, he left that team to go to one of the more flawed big threes in Brooklyn with Paul Pierce, KG, and Darren Williams. He didn't do much because of injuries and has not played since the 2014 to 2015 season. Oh man, one of our biggest busts of our time, Derek Williams. The man had some potential to do stuff in the league, and he didn't really pan out for a lot of reasons. But in this season in particular, he averaged 12 points a game on 43% from the field. So this is career numbers compared to anything Derek Williams actually put up. Ever since then, he really has been everywhere around the league. First the Kings, then the Knicks, Miami, then Cleveland because of LeBron, and finally, he ended his career with 2 games with the Lakers. Nowadays, you can find him in the EuroLeague with a team in Istanbul where he is averaging 10 points a game. So, he's still doing good even though he's not playing in the NBA. So it's still good to see that he is playing professional ball. Will the NBA be a possibility in the future? Probably not. Next white boy on the team is Luke Ridenour. He is most known for being traded 4 times in a single week. That is depressing. But with the Timberwolves, he averaged 11 points a game and 3 assists a game. So pretty respectable for a backup point guard. Oh wait, never mind. He started every game and plays shooting guard at 6'2". Y'all deserve to only win 30 games because of that. After being traded 4 times in a week, that is still crazy to me. He has some backup point guard roles with Milwaukee, Charlotte, and Orlando. He then retired in 2015. Rip Luke. Good old JJ Barea. After winning that championship with the Mavericks in 2010, he then signed a bigger contract with the Timberwolves. He averaged 11 points a game and 5 assists a game. Did it amount to much? Nah. 30 wins, but hey, get your money, JJ. Get your money. But if there's one thing you did bring to this team, it's being white. After his time with this team, he then decided to sign with the Mavericks and is one of the few players on this team that is still playing today, as he will probably retire with the Dallas Mavericks. So, good shit, JJ. Good shit. Y'all remember when Ricky Rubio couldn't shoot? Because I did. In fact, in this season alone, he did average 10 points a game. However, on 36% shooting from the field and 29% shooting from 3. But hey, 7 assists a game, that's good, and at least it shows potential. Throughout the years, he has still had some issues shooting and creating his own shot with efficiency, but hey, 7 assists a game in his career, that's still pretty good, even with a low turnover rate. Let's hope he keeps being serviceable for the teams he plays for the rest of his career. I low-key forgot about Chase Budinger, but he was a decent role player for every team he played for in his career, and the same thing applies when he played with the Timberwolves, as he averaged 9 points a game. From there, he played with a couple more lower-ranked teams. In fact, he never even played for any good teams. After his last stint with the Suns in 2016, he went away from the league at the young age of 27 and started a new career overseas, which only lasted 1 season. But then, he went to find his true passion in professional beach volleyball, which is very interesting, I'll say that. Glad to see he is still playing professional sports, even if it isn't basketball. Dante Cunningham has been a career journeyman and has been in the league since 2009. He has played for 8 teams since that time, so you already know he is on the team for diversity reasons. Anyways, with the T-Wolves, he averaged 8 points a game and 5 rebounds a game, so it's good to see he contributed in some way. He is also one of the 2 non-white players to average more than 20 minutes a game with Derek Williams. Since then, he has played with a few more teams and has not played since last year with the Spurs and is currently in China, killing the competition as he averaged 15-7. So again, it's great to see everything is going well after the NBA. Okay, I know y'all have to recognize Lexus Fed, right? Just from the hair alone, but this was actually his rookie season in the NBA, and he did pretty decently, averaging 9 points a game. After that, he bounced around the league and had a bit of a career year in New York in his final season as an NBA player, as he averaged 15 points a game. It was a good start. However, he only played 16 games because of injury and then was banished back to the EuroLeague, where he now is averaging 20 points a game consistently. Again, it is great to see another former NBA player killing it somewhere else. I'ma feel bad for saying this, but I had no idea who Josh Howard was, and when I did my research on him, I didn't know he was a one-time All-Star in 2006. He even averaged 18 points a game that season. He could have even had a ring if he wasn't traded from the Mavericks in 2010. Since then, he started to nosedive and ended up playing with the T-Wolves at 32, where he didn't really do much as he averaged 6 points a game. In fact, that was his last season in the league altogether. He is currently coaching at Piedmont International College, so it's great to see he's still around the sport even after his time in the NBA. For the real Brandon Roy fans, I know y'all are waiting for this. Brandon Roy was definitely one of the best young players at his time, doing some pretty amazing things for the Trailblazers. After an amazing but short 5 seasons with the Trailblazers and some nasty injuries, he retired for a year and came back as a member of the Timberwolves in his last season in the league. He played 5 games and averaged 6 points on 31% shooting before going down this time for good. If it wasn't for injuries, he could have been up there with potentially some of the greats. Rip Brandon Roy. Okay, maybe not totally rip since he's now coaching high school basketball, but either way, rip Brandon Roy. He really could have been great. Lastly, we have our token white center, Greg. I don't feel like trying to say his last name, so he will forever stay Greg. He did not start playing NBA ball until he was 26 and only lasted 4 seasons where he played with 4 different teams. He didn't really do much in the league, and even with the Wolves, he did play 76 games and averaged a career high in points, 4 a game. For this, I award Greg with the honorary White Boy Award, but I can't talk too much shit because he is actually the Minnesota Timberwolves Players Development Coach. So again, even though he wasn't great as a player, I am sure in the coaching realm, he will be great. And with that, this concludes the whitest team ever in our modern generation. Usually when you think of an NBA team, you are never really thinking to seeing this as your starting lineup, but hey, this rarely happens and I hope it stays that way. I'm joking. Kinda. The day an all-white starting lineup wins an NBA championship is the day where Donald Sterling comes back as an NBA owner.
Yeah, it bothers me a lot that you want to broadcast that you're associating with black people. You don't have to. You could sleep with them, you could bring them in, you could do whatever you want. The little I ask you is not to promote it on that and not to bring them to my games.
Please don't let that happen. Other than that, thank you for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to like, comment your thoughts. If you're new, subscribe for more. Same thing as always, follow me on my Instagram, and join my Discord if you want to talk to me or get sneak peeks of what I'm doing next, or even request a video. You could do that too. Well, let me stop wasting your time. This is your boy, Alvini Linguine, saying peace.